friends, welcome back. Today we are working on some back bends. So to get started, we need to have a nice warm up because our peak pose, what we are working on, is camel pose. It is a deep back bend, so we want to make sure that we're open and that our body is ready to support that back bend. So to get started, I want you to go ahead and we're going to meet on our bellies today. If you have blocks, we will use this at the end of practice for a nice little counter pose. If you do not have a block, maybe finding a pillow of some sort that will be able to come long ways. It can be like a skinny couch pillow, but something just to elevate the hips enough that we're bringing a little more opening. So if you need to pause the video and go find that pillow, do so. Otherwise, have your blocks just at the top of your space. So to get started, let's go ahead and come down to the belly. So go ahead and just lower on down. I'm just gonna move my blocks out of the way so y'all can see my face. And then as you come down, we're gonna stack our hands on top of one another, bringing the elbows wide. Drop your forehead to the back of the top hand. And if the toes are tucked, we're gonna untuck the toes. Feet are about hips width distance apart. So there's a tiny bit of space between the feet. And just rest your forehead down on the mat. And starting to just activate a little bit of strength building in those back muscles. Keep the hands connected to your forehead. And then on the inhale, lift your chest, bring hands and elbows up with you. Feel those back muscles engage. Full breath in. Exhale, lower down. Good, one more time, just like that. Inhale, lifting up. Hold on your exhale. And on the inhale, fill the belly with air, pushing it towards the mat. Exhale, lowers you down. Good. Give the hips a little rock left and right. Let go of any little tension that might have built up. And then pausing, you're going to circle hands outside the hips, dropping one ear down to the mat. An opposite hand sweeps out. And on the inhale, lift the chest, gaze goes down. Fingers reach up, feet float. We're kind of rocking on that pelvic bone here. Full breath in. Full breath out. Build it here. One more breath in. Exhale, lower down. Circle hands under the forehead. Good. Starting to lift up in the chest. Hands are under shoulders. Elbows squeezed in. Inhale, lift baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Slide the hands outside the ribs. Squeeze the elbows in. Inhale, lift all the way up. King cobra. One breath in. Gaze is forward. Tall neck. One breath out. Good. Bending through the knees. Box pose. Bring your knees wide. Big toes together for a child's pose. Let's take 2 breaths here just to counter that back bend. Full breath in. Full breath out. Soften hips and ankles. Feel the shoulders and arms open. Last breath in. Last breath out. Awesome. Go ahead and hinge forward here. Walk hands under the shoulders. Hug the knees under your hips. And then plant down through your left hand. Reach the right arm forward. Inhale, kicks the left heel back. Good. Exhale, elbow to knee. Hug it in. Again, activating the core to inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. One more. Inhale, lengthen. Option to hold here, working on spinal balances. Exhales, hugging belly button towards spine. Or maybe finding tiger pose. Circle your hand back, hand to pinky edge of foot. Kicking into your hand to lift the knee and open your right shoulder. Good. On the exhale, release your hand. We all meet back in tabletop position. Right hand lands, right knee bends. Switching that out, right hand stays down. Inhale, reaching the left arm forward, kick back through the right heel. Full breath in. Exhale, elbow to knee, crunch it in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, reach one more time. Option to hold here for that spinal balance. Exhales, hugging belly button in. or circle the left hand back, finding pinky edge of your back foot. Good. On the inhale, kick into your hands, lift the knee. Good. Wherever you're at, we've got one more breath. Hold strong. Exhale, release, box pose, hands drop, knee hugs in. Good. Start to walk your hands back towards yourself, lifting upward through the chest. So good. We're getting ready here for camel pose. Now, this is my favorite part. I found this trick on Instagram. There was a great yoga teacher. I forget her name. So if you remember, leave it for me in the comments because I'd love to give her props for this. It is called zombie arms. So this is a great way to bring activation to our thighs and our core to allow us to lower back without dumping all of this weight into our lower back, which is a really common thing, at least that I used to run into all the time before I learned zombie arms. So let's get into it. Reach the fingertips forward. Okay, so you're kind of starting to see this zombie effect. Go ahead and tuck your back toes under. This is just gonna bring a little bit of support here. And then on the exhale, kind of like you were like getting lowered into the grave, a little morbid, but it is almost Halloween while I'm filming this, so. A Halloween joke. On the exhale, start to hinge backwards. And when you feel your quads and core engage, I want you to just pause. And then here we are. Inhale, zombie, rising up, lifts you up. So I want you to pay attention to that feeling in your quads and your core. And this is how we're going to start to get there. So we're going to do 2 more like that just to really activate those muscles. Leaning back. Breathe out. Feel everything engaged and pause. Inhale, use the core, lift you up. So we're teaching the body these engagements. Exhaling. Inhale, lift. Good. Now let's ease into this pose. Let's start with phase 1. Hands are to the lower back. I'm going to turn just so you can see. I've got my hands on the top of my booty and hips, like I'm sliding my hands into some pockets here. Good. Toes are lifted. Knees or hips width distance apart. Squeeze the elbows together. Lift up tall in the crown of the head and relax your shoulders. Good. On your exhale, zombie lean back. We don't have the arms this time, but feel. Good. Inhale. Lift up. Good. Awesome. If we're feeling good here in the shoulders, this is where I'm going to invite you to come to full camel. We're going to start with our zombie arms. So arms are forward. Exhale, start to hinge back. Good. Circle one hand to your heel at a time. And then now I want you to push the hips forward, lift the chin and chest, finding that back bend. Gaze is starting to find the back wall. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. Now we're going to use those zombie arms to come up. We start to lift the chin as we circle that left shoulder forward. Now, zombie arms, right arm lifts off, circle, lift yourself up, and then untuck the toes, bend through the knees, and drop your hands to your shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften, curl the tailbone forward, round through the shoulders. Inhale, lift, lengthen, and push the chest forward slightly. Exhale, sliding hands to the knees, chin to chest. So just these little counter poses, walking the hands forward to sweep your legs off to one side. This is where we're going to use our block or pillow. So again, just for reference here, I'm going to come a little closer. We've got our block here, and we've got 3 settings. We've got our highest setting, right? And then we've got medium setting. And we are going to use our lowest, widest setting. So this is the spot. We are going to eventually be sliding this block underneath the hips. So I want us to be mindful not to put it in the arch and not to put it too low that we feel like we aren't able to lower down all the way. All right, I'm going to show you that while we're laying down. Just keep some of that in mind. So meeting back on our mat. Let me waddle over here for you. Legs are swept off to one side. Go ahead and send them forward. Scoot your hips towards your heels and lower all the way down. Good. Taking any clips or ponytails out of the back of your head if you've got that there. If not, then you've got a flat head against the mat, able to really bring that long spine here. And then bring attention to this space in your lower back. You might feel a little arch here. We're gonna flatten our back to the mat by curling the tailbone upward. Good. So you feel flat back here, heels are walked into the glutes, hands outside of the hips. Feet and knees, hips width distance apart. On your next inhale, start to continue curling the tailbone upward, lifting one vertebrae at a time. The hips lift up. Good. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, squeeze the inner thighs, lift the hips up a little bit more. You could use the hands for support here. Full breath in. Good. Finding that block. Widest, lowest setting. We're going to slide that under the hips and start to lower. Now, if you're like me, my block was a little too far. It's hitting the tip of my tailbone. I'm going to slide that closer to my shoulders. Now, if we come too far, we're going to feel it kind of like funky in the arch of our back. Tailbone might be hanging off. Go ahead and slide it back down towards your heels. So this should be really, really comfortable. Take time to adjust this. We want the tailbone flat and the hips relaxed on the block here. You can let the arms open up. And just let the hips get heavy here. This is going to be just a nice supportive pose from that camel. Allowing the front of the hips just to open in a relaxed, non-engaged way. And so if you want a little deeper opening in the hips, this is where we're going to start to send one leg long at a time. Dropping the heels to the ground, just sliding that foot forward. Feel the hips spread open. Good, big breath in. Feel the hips open. Big breath out. Good, a few more breaths here. This is great if you work at a desk, you drive a lot, the hips have that hinge pretty often. Great way to just open up the front body. Good. Go ahead and start to bend one knee at a time if your legs were out long. Walk the heels towards the body. Whichever you've got under the hips, we all inhale, lift the hips up. Good. Take that block or pillow off to the side, slide it up past your head, hands back to the ground, and lower one vertebrae at a time. Tailbone is going to be the last to unravel. Good. Full breath in, lower back might arch again. Exhale, knees in towards the chest. Hands to the knees, elbows are bent. Squeeze the knees in, fingertips clawing over the kneecaps. And then on the inhale, straighten through the arms, pushing the knees away. Feel the tailbone flatten. Let the feet hang heavy. Exhale, elbows in. Bend the knees a little closer to the chest. Inhale, straightens through the arms. A nice just little reset for the lower back. Let the inhale start to lift your shins. So now we've got a 90-degree angle with the legs. Maybe you hug the knees in a little to get a nice flat back here. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, supine twist. Twist over to your right. These twists are really nice after those deep back bends. Full breath in, fill your belly. Full breath out. One more breath here. If this is feeling good and you want to just hold this here, make sure you even things out on the opposite side. Letting the inhale bring your knees up through center, and the exhale to invite that twist over to the left side. Good. Once you've twisted, legs have landed, we fill the belly. And let the exhale soften ankles, knees, and hips. Even that right shoulder pulling down to the mat. Inhales, filling the belly. And exhale, surrendering to the twist. Again, holding these twists as long as you like, making sure you just even it out. You let the inhale pull you up through center. Hands behind your knees. Rock and roll. Find a seated position. And there you have it. A nice little introduction to warming up for a deep back bend, and hopefully a great tip to help you enjoy camel pose a little bit more when it is introduced in class. So let me know what you think, and I will see you guys soon.